No one should have to suffer the pain of a loved one's suicide alone. However, in the face of such a tragic loss, friends and family may feel ill-equipped to help. After all, what good are any words or actions next to the enormity of such sorrow? How do you help someone who's lost a loved one to suicide? How do you help yourself if someone you care about has taken that route? I'm Jonathan Decker, licensed therapist. I know the pain of losing a loved one to suicide. I also know how hard it is when someone you know is grieving this loss and you feel powerless to help. Recently, I was fortunate enough to attend a seminar entitled Suicide Bereavement: What Works and What Doesn't, presented by fellow marriage and family therapist Quentin Hunt. Having lost a brother to suicide and dedicated his life to preventing and helping, Hunt is in a position to authoritatively speak on the subject. The following are his recommendations for helping those left behind, paraphrased from my notes. From my own clinical experience, I've also found these to be true. Number 1, don't leave them to grieve alone unless they ask you to. One of the greatest struggles of suicide mourners is feeling isolated. Many well-meaning persons may not know what to say to the bereaved, so they say nothing. Friends and family feel inadequate, so they simply leave the person alone in their grief. Because other people are unwilling to talk about it, those who've lost a loved one to suicide often feel excluded and alone. This lack of connection can send them further into their grief and possibly feed unnecessary feelings of guilt. Having someone to talk to cry with, or simply share a space with alleviates feelings of isolation. It also decreases the risk of their coping in unhealthy ways, such as addiction. You don't need to make it better. You don't need to take the pain away. You just need to be there. When we grieve with those who are grieving, we show them that they are not alone. There is a type of love that is only experienced through grief, through sorrow. It is more profound than just, hey, I like you, or we have good times together. It is the love that says, even though you're hurting, I won't leave you. When you need me most, I'm right here. We mourn because we love. Grief is our gift to the deceased. It's not your job to take that away. You don't need to say or do exactly the right thing. You just need to be there. Number 2, avoid judgments and assumptions about the deceased or their families. Whether dealing directly with the mourners or indirectly in conversations with others, be mindful of your words and thoughts. Even well-intended persons can do immeasurable harm through thoughtless judgments and assumptions. Asking, did you notice that something was wrong? Or what could have been done to stop this? Or talking about what you would have done in the situation can make things worse. Number 3, show empathy, not sympathy. Many people do more harm than good when they offer mere sympathy, which Hunt defines as acknowledging suffering, then rushing in to fix it and offer solutions. Armchair philosophy, at least her suffering is over now, and unsolicited advice, especially if you've never been there yourself, can come across as patronizing and minimize the loss. These actions also keep the sufferer at arm's length. Instead of being vulnerable and grieving with them, you're just telling them what to do or trying to console them with platitudes. Empathy, on the other hand, requires you to be vulnerable. It requires you to try to understand the perspective and feelings of the other person at a profound level. It enables you to recognize that there is no quick fix here, that your job is to feel and connect with them, not to take their pain away. Number 4, help alleviate guilt and anger. Those left behind often feel a sense of responsibility. They believe that they could have done more to stop the death from happening. They may also feel anger toward the departed for leaving, seeing the deceased as selfish, and then feel guilty for their anger. After you've truly connected through empathy and commiseration, help them to see that their loved one made this choice from a place of incredible pain. He or she likely came to see him or herself as a burden, believing that others would grieve but then be better off without them. They were not in a place mentally or emotionally to fully grasp the consequences of their actions, nor the anguish caused to others who would be left behind. They probably thought that by this act they were doing right by the family. The deceased wasn't weak and they cared plenty. The anguish and mental illness merely overtook them. Let the bereaved know that while anyone in their shoes would ask, what more could I have done? It's likely that their efforts would not have changed the outcome. Validate their pain and hurt and allow them time to process their guilt. And help them to see that that guilt is unnecessary. Number 5, show sensitivity in your speech. Avoid language that frames suicide as a crime or as a sin. This is not helpful to the mourner. Instead of committed suicide, say died by suicide. Instead of killed himself, say took his own life. In a broader context, in your daily conversations, avoid terminology that glamorizes suicide or makes it appear to be a viable option. Number 6, consider the real needs of children. Children who've lost a parent, a sibling, or a friend to suicide may be deemed as too young to know the truth. In a well-meaning attempt to protect them, grown-ups keep what really happened a secret. While this is definitely an issue for individual judgment regarding the child in question, keep in mind that the longer a secret is kept, the more work is required to keep it. Even more important is to recognize that a child's grief is compounded when they're treated like they can't possibly understand, excluding them from comfort. When considering the costs of telling a child about a suicide, also consider the costs of not telling them. If you choose to tell them, do so at their level of understanding. Make sure they know that the sufferer wrestled with extreme emotional hurt and could not think clearly to understand the pain their actions would bring. Encourage the child to practice sympathy for the sufferer without silencing any efforts on part of the child to voice their hurt, confusion, anger, and sadness. Let them know that if they are ever struggling, they can talk to you. My father did this so well for me. When I was young, one of my peers took his own life. My father's role in our church led him to be on the scene, mourning with the family and supporting them as best he could. I'll never forget how he came home that night when I was already in bed. I didn't know anything about what had happened yet. He sat on the edge of my bed, took my hand, and said, "Son, if you're ever struggling, if you're ever feeling down or hopeless or confused, I want you to know that you can talk to me, and I'll listen. I love you and I'm here for you." I thanked him, and sensing the emotion in his voice, I asked him what was going on. In a very straightforward and respectful manner, he told me. I was devastated, but I also appreciated that he didn't hold back the truth. It helped me to work through my grief. Number 7, in time, help them to make meaning. Hunt posed the question, how do you take the worst experience of this person's life and help them to turn it into something good? First of all, don't impose meaning onto it for them. Remember that bumper sticker wisdom or sympathy is actually condescending, as is rushing to fix their problem. Remember, you can't take their pain away. They hurt because they love and they have to pass through it. What you can do in time is ask them if there's anything from this experience that they can use to make a difference. Whether it's joining with other suicide mourners through shared experiences or telling their stories to those contemplating suicide in order to discourage that choice, their pain can serve a purpose of helping others. So, to review, number 1, don't leave them to grieve alone unless they ask you to. Number 2, avoid judgments and assumptions about the deceased or their families. Number 3, show empathy, not sympathy. Number 4, help alleviate guilt and anger. Number 5, show sensitivity in your speech. Number 6, consider the real needs of children. Number 7, in time, help them to make meaning. These are general principles. I hope that they are helpful should you ever need them. That said, every case, every person, and every family is unique. Some question their identities as parents, spouses, or friends. Some experience marital troubles. Many struggle with depression. If extra support is needed in helping others or yourself, please contact us. If you or someone you know is feeling suicidal, please call the National Suicide Hotline at 800-273-8255. If you live outside the United States, a quick internet search will help you locate resources in your area. Now, I want to hear from you. Down below in the comments, what has helped you when mourning the loss of a loved one by suicide, or helping someone who's experienced this loss? Or if you have questions for us about coping, let us know in the comments below and we'll gladly address them. If you enjoy what we're doing here, please hit the subscribe button and the bell so that you get our new videos. Here at Mended Light, we're invested in helping you heal yourself so that your light can shine to the world, so that you can be the happiest, best version of you. I'm Jonathan Decker, licensed therapist, and I'll see you next time.